Um, this is Cornerstone Family Matters, and we thought it would be really good to find out about some of our NHS workers. Obviously, we can't deal with them all that work in the NHS at Cornerstone, but we thought we'd catch up with some. So we've got Amy and Sarah and Steve all working different things. Amy, what do you do?
I'm a children's nurse on Sunshine.
And you're on a ward at Kingston, is that?
Yeah.
Yep. And Sarah, what do you do?
I'm a Macmillan urology nurse, so I work 3 days a week at Epsom Hospital, predominantly with bladder cancer patients.
Okay, and Steve?
Yeah, I'm a community matron, so working in the community, seeing people at home, trying to avoid them going into hospital.
And you had been tested positive with this thing, haven't you?
Yeah, I got symptoms last week, and so I had to go to Chesington World Adventures and got swabbed and tested, and came back as positive. So I had to stay off last week and recover.
And Sarah and Amy, are you sort of in danger?
I possibly had it at the beginning. I never got tested. I had to stay off for a week. We had a positive patient on the ward, and then I was symptomatic.
Okay.
So we're thinking I had it, but I never got tested.
Sarah?
Yeah.
I don't think I am terribly. Most of my work now is over the phone.
Oh, okay.
We've drastically reduced the face-to-face interaction.
Yeah. And Sarah, just tell us a little bit about how this sort of crisis has affected your work, because we hear a lot about cancer patients being a bit worried.
Yes, no, a lot of what I'm doing at the moment is trying to keep in touch with people who are having treatments postponed. There's a lot of uncertainty. People are finding it really difficult. And the biggest difference for me, I think, is a lot of my job is supporting people who have been given bad news. And usually that's me sitting alongside a doctor who gives the news, and then I take the patient away and support them. But now, because doctors are either redeployed or self-isolating or doing their own telephone clinics, I'm doing that bad news myself, often to people I've never met before.
And just over the phone?
Over the telephone, yeah.
Not even Zoom then, just over the phone?
No, yeah.
Wow. Dear, that's tough. And Amy, what about you then with children then? Is this corona affecting your work?
Yeah, it's a bit weird because the children aren't getting it as badly as the adults, so we're not as overrun as the adult wards are. But we're very weirdly set up now because we're on the paediatric department. We're now physically taking over paediatric A&E, and so as nurses on the paediatric department, we're now running paediatric A&E, and our physical space is now paediatric A&E as well as the ward.
Wow.
And that's now split as well. It's not one department now. It's dirty and clean A&E is what they're calling it. So they're keeping what are possible corona patients separate from what are possible not corona patients. Got what used to be the one department split into three, and we're staffing all of that.
And Steve, tell us about you. So you just travelling around Chessington meeting patients. So that sounds quite dodgy.
We're in the same way we've actually changed the way we work slightly. We're doing a lot more sort of phone calls. But there are people we do have to go and see who are sort of unwell, presenting either with maybe COVID symptoms. We need to assess them, or they're just they need to be seen. So it is a bit of a disruption to the service, I suppose. And there's nurses doing different jobs that they didn't used to do.
And how are you coping with that then?
I think it's good actually, knowing that God is sovereign over for all this situation, particularly when you're in it. Because then you start thinking, if I've got the virus, I'm going to go to somebody's house, I'm going to give it to them, they might end up becoming very unwell with it, and you can be quite sort of fearful of that factor. But I think knowing that God is over everything, he knows everyone we're going to see, he knows who's got the virus, he's ultimately in control of it, you can trust that you can do your job well, and don't have to worry about the sort of the ins and outs of it, thinking that you're contributing to people's sort of illness.
Would you sort of agree with those? I know you're in a different situation, Sarah, but would you agree with that sort of thing?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think in many ways this Easter has been really extra specially powerful because we're in this situation, because it's such a big thing, the whole world is affected, but Christ is bigger than that, and stronger and greater, and defeated death.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's also shown how much the parents are really coming together and the families are really coming together, because we're having to restrict so much who's coming on the ward, and yet so many families are pulling together still.
Thank you, everyone. And there's much we could ask about, and we will be praying for you. So thank you for this interview.